Welcome back to 101 East. This is a traditional longhouse of the Iban tribe, one of the largest tribes on Borneo. About 200 people live under this one long roof. But like the timber that's used to build it, structures like this are disappearing fast, and the people that live in it are heading to the towns and the cities. Those left behind are usually the older generation, sole custodians of the old traditions and the way of life. Ugil is one of them.
My name is Ugil Anak Uchuang. I am 81 years old. I've lived in longhouses all my life, and in this one since 1949. There are more than 50 adults in this longhouse. They are all members of my wife's extended family. My two sons left the longhouse to work in Miri and Kuching after they finished school. I have 8 grandchildren. All of them are working or studying in the cities. Here, they can only be farmers and live this life. In the cities, they work for companies and have good salaries. They can have a better life and send their kids to school. They visit me during Gawai, the Iban New Year, and I visit them 2 to 3 times a year. I miss them. But I get homesick after spending 2 or 3 days with them and long to come back to the longhouse. In the city, I feel like I'm staying in someone else's home. Here, I look around and see myself surrounded with everything that is a part of me. So I don't want to leave the longhouse to join them. My heritage, the Iban life, is here. My ancestors said, don't leave it behind. In the city, I would miss the things here that need my care. We have a fishing net that we tie across a river in the woods. In the mornings, we have to come with a basket to pull up the net and check if there's any catch. If there are leaves caught in the net, you have to clear it, or the fish won't come through if they see the leaves there. This is a bubu, or a fish trap. After you choose a location along the river for it, you use various parts of a tree to block the river in such a way that will lead fish into the trap. You have to use 2 sticks to hold the bubu down so that it doesn't float away. Every morning, I also go to my pepper farm. At this stage, I have to weed them. I also have to fertilize them so the flowers will bloom. I think the longhouse way of life will come to an end because the young ones leave, get jobs in towns, and nobody comes back. At this rate, longhouse life will disappear. It's like our tattoos. In the old days, they beautified the bodies of male Ibans. You're a real man if you have them. If a man had no tattoos, others would make fun of him. It's like having a woman's body. To sustain longhouses, the government needs to provide clean water, electricity, and so on. But all we've had from them so far are empty promises. I'm not hopeful that my children will come back. When young people go to the city, they usually don't. It saddens me. This is the land where we come from. If they don't come back, that's the end of our culture. The Iban way of living will die.
That was Ugil, who's chosen to resist pressure to modernize his lifestyle. One man who has chosen to heed the call of the new is Dato Anak Mat, who's left his childhood home and settled in the town of Bintulu. Here's his story.
I work in the ASEAN Bintulu fertilizer plant. supervising scaffolding and paintwork. I left my longhouse 15 years ago to come here to earn a living. My name is Dato Anak Mat. I'm 42 years old. I wanted to earn enough money to support my family so that my children can get better education. Where we came from, you could earn some money by tapping rubber trees, but it's not a lot. And when it rains, you earn nothing. I wasn't satisfied staying in the woods. I really wanted to buy a car and wasn't going to be able to do that by taking on a lowly job. But I found a boss who gave me a monthly salary. By 6:30, I pick up the van to ferry some of the workers to the plant. I knock off at 5 p.m. if there's no overtime and ferry the workers home. I'm usually home by 6 to spend time with my family. On weekends, my friends and I sometimes organize cockfighting. In this place where I live, there are about 600 Iban families like mine. I'm used to the longhouse lifestyle. I was very happy growing up that way. I miss my parents a lot and always wonder what they are doing. I wonder if they went fishing and how was the catch. I wonder if they are tapping rubber. I visit them once a year during the Gawai celebration, which is the Iban New Year in June. When I earn enough money, I will return for good to renovate the longhouse. I want to upgrade it with cement and bricks. For now, I see myself as a transition for my children to be here. I will give them education and skills and the opportunity to stay. I hope they will be successful when they grow up. After that, they can choose whether they want to return to the longhouse or not.
In many of the longhouses, the women are still weaving the traditional local textile, pua kumbu. It's a skill that's been passed down through many generations, but these days the younger girls in the communities are less inclined to learn the craft. Here's the story of two generations of women.
My name is Jazeera English. I am 40 years old. I grew up in another longhouse and have lived here since I got married about 20 years ago. I started learning to weave pua when I was 11. I used to watch my mother do it and became interested. These ladies are waxing the string that we will tie onto the thread. Without the wax, the dye will bleed through the string when you tie it to the thread. The design is created when you tie the strings to the thread to form a pattern. The coloring part comes when you dye it later. Here she is finishing the weave. Traditionally, we use the pua as a decoration during celebrations. It tells the gods that we are having festive events, like a wedding, for example. Also, when people die, it is placed in the coffin with them for them to take to the next world. To dye the pua, we pick leaves from a plant called umkrabai. It is about 10 minutes away on a motorcycle. The leaves strengthen the dye and help to keep the color fast. Once I bring it home, I boil it and complete the dyeing process if the weather is nice and sunny. It takes about a month to complete one piece. I don't do this regularly, only when I'm free. The pua costs up to $100 each, depending on the size. Usually, I earn about $15 a day from tapping rubber.
My name is Angelina Sebi. I am 17 years old and go to secondary school in Cebu. I don't want to take up pua weaving. It's too difficult. I like to send text messages and hang out with my friends. I enjoy watching music videos because they're entertaining, they're modern, and they're cool. In school, I take classes in mathematics, science, economics, and English and Malay languages.
I'm very sad. Young people like my daughter are no longer interested in pua weaving. My mother handed down this tradition to me, and I want to do the same.
I want to take up computer studies. I really like computers. One day, I want to own one. And after I leave school, I hope to become a teacher.
My daughter is 19. She went to Kuala Lumpur a year and a half ago to train as a nurse. She can't understand why I bother with weaving.
I won't want to live here after I graduate. I'll take my family out of the longhouse and move into a nice house in the city. I like how the city is so busy. Living in the longhouse is the old way of the Iban.
For my daughter, it's a tradition that is not needed by the modern world.
For now, this jungle continues to provide some shelter and food for the local tribes, but who knows how long it might be before all of these trees end up as just digits in another Swiss bank account. Until then, we've been out filming what remains of the Sarawak jungle, and we'll leave you with those pictures. Bye-bye.